Analysis of rhetoric in your discipline for sociology. The American Sociological Association defines sociology as the study of society, a social science involving the study of the social lives of people, groups, and societies, the study of our behavior as social beings, covering everything from the analysis of short contacts between the anonymous individuals on the street to the study of global processes, the scientific study of social aggregations, the entities through which humans move throughout their lives, and an overarching unification of all studies of humankind, including history, psychology, and economics. Because of the vastness of the field, sociologists will generally have a particular specialization. This can include cultures and heritage, how specific groups or societies interact, poverty on a global or local scale, criminal behavior, diversity, organizations, development, deviance, just to give you a very limited overview. Many sociologists examine and observe by participating in research and studies. Because of this, there are two main types of articles that are found in sociological peer-reviewed journals. The first is a report on the findings, and they are written in a specific format with sections on the method for gathering data, the measurements used, the results, which are usually described using statistical data, information specific to the study, the results, and any suggestions or changes that the researcher would make when performing the study again. The other primary type of article is one that is written using the research performed by others and focuses on specific data found in multiple research sources. The three articles that I examined are of the latter style. Two articles that I examined, the first and second article, were in the APA style, which is very common in the field. There's also a much lesser used ASA, which is American Sociological Association format, which Article 3 utilizes. The most obvious differences are found in the reference list and in the in-text citations, although there are some other stylistic differences as well. Articles look fairly similar with the title, author, and authors and the abstract. There is information about the authors at the bottom of page 1 for Article 1 and beneath the authors' names for Articles 2 and 3, although I believe that this stylistic difference is due to the number of authors for Article 1, and listing all of the authors' information at the top of the page would have been cumbersome. Following the abstract, each article has an introduction and several sections with headings that describe what information is found in each. There is biographical information for the authors for Articles 2 and 3 with contact information in Articles 1 and 2. Because research can vary so much from person to person, it is very common for people to use different methods to measure the same thing. Therefore, researchers will typically define keywords either in the introduction or the body of the paper. For example, all three of these articles are about poverty, but they each use a different method of determining it. Article 1 uses information gathered from the U.S. Census Bureau, while Article 2 utilizes the Consumer Price Index, and Article 3 uses the World Bank's measure of global poverty. As you can see, these are three very different systems that are used to define the same concept. The tone of all three articles is scholarly and professional. It is typical for authors in sociology discourse to write in the third person because of the nature of research. However, the authors in Articles 2 and 3 do use the first person in their discussions. This serves to keep the discussion in an active voice instead of changing to a passive perspective. Writing styles. Article 1 is not typical of the articles found in sociology research journals. This paper, while easy to read and understand, had the feel of a student research paper and not a peer-reviewed journal article. It did not make assumptions that the reader would have any prior knowledge of the topic. The article was somewhat simplistic if one assumes that the audience of a sociology journal is a sociologist with experience and knowledge of the field. This is a great article for a student that is taking an introductory course in sociology, but seems to lack the ability to connect with more advanced sociology student. Even the argument was fairly basic. Even though the paper draws on numerous sources and covers the topic, it did not belong in a sociology journal, in my opinion. The intended audience of Article 2 is the sociology professionals or advanced students that have an understanding of how sociology research is performed and the related terms, such as randomized, controlled trial, etc. The reader should have some knowledge of the poverty cycle and its effects on individuals and communities and the importance that the community plays as a whole. Article 3 was the most technical in both the words it used and the sentences. As with the other two articles, it defined the terms that it used, but it also had the expectation of a certain level of understanding of the field. There were some uses of discourse-specific terms as well as some statistical terms that the authors used. Thank you for listening to this brief overview of the analysis of rhetoric for sociology.